All right, let's talk about something real. Forget following the rules, and definitely forget waiting for your turn. Today, we're going to dive into why the people who really make it big, well, they don't just play the game. They literally rewrite the entire rulebook. So let me ask you something straight up. Are you waiting? Waiting for that green light, for someone to tap you on the shoulder and say, okay, you're ready now. Waiting for the perfect opportunity. Because I'll tell you what, if that's your plan, you're going to be waiting forever. Here's the thing. Most of us, we're living inside a cage we don't even realize is there. It's a mental cage, right? And it was built for us by other people. So let's take a closer look at what that actually means. Just think about it for a second. School, your job, all those societal expectations, they all give you a framework, right? A pre-made path to follow. But here's the catch. Those paths, they were designed by someone else, for someone else's goals. And when you just stay on that path, it limits your vision. It puts a ceiling on your potential. You're basically living inside a box that you didn't even build. But here's the secret. And it comes from Stanford professor Tina Selig. She says something amazing. The world is just full of doors that aren't even locked. You just have to have the guts to try and open them. And that is the key. The big takeaway here is that opportunity isn't something you just stumble upon. It's something you have to create. Okay, so how in the world do you create opportunity from nothing? There's this absolutely brilliant experiment from one of Selig's classes that shows exactly how this works. It's fantastic. All right, let's do a little thought experiment. Imagine I hand you $5, just a single $5 bill, and I tell you, you've got 2 hours. Your only mission is to make as much money as you possibly can. What do? Seriously, what's your first thought? Buy some lottery tickets? Maybe grab some water bottles and try to resell them? What's your move? Well, this was the exact challenge she gave her students at Stanford. $5, 2 hours, go make a fortune. And, the teams that did the obvious thing, the ones who bought something to resell, they made a little bit of money, a small profit. But they didn't win, not even close. And this is where it gets really interesting. The winning teams, they had a totally different insight. They realized the $5 wasn't a resource at all. It was actually a distraction. So they just ignored it. Instead of focusing on the tiny amount of money they had, they shifted their entire focus to solving a problem they saw right in front of them. So what did they do? Well, for example, one of the winning teams just started making reservations at super popular restaurants and then sold those reservations to people who couldn't stand waiting in those long lines. Genius, right? Another team just went around campus offering to check the tire pressure on people's bikes and then asked for small donations in return. See, they didn't need the $5 to create value. All they needed was a problem to solve. So the lesson here is crystal clear, isn't it? It was never, ever about the $5. And in your life, it's never about the resources you think you're lacking. The only real limitation, the only thing holding you back, is your own mind. Your creativity is the only asset that truly matters. Okay, so if our mind is the only real limit, then what's holding our minds back? It really boils down to one thing, just one thing, that paralyzing fear of failure. And let me be clear, this is your biggest enemy. It's not your competition, it's not the economy, it's not that you don't have enough capital. No, it's that fear. The fear of looking stupid, right? Of trying something and just falling flat on your face. That's the fear that keeps you locked inside that mental cage, just playing it safe. We have to completely reframe how we think about failure. I love this quote because it's so true. Failure isn't a sign of weakness. It's actually proof that you're pushing the boundaries. In the world of real innovation, it's basically a badge of honor. The truth is, if you're not failing every once in a while, you're not really trying hard enough. So let's actually turn failure into a strategy. It's a really simple loop when you think about it. You experiment, you fail, you learn from it, and then you repeat. Every single time you go through that cycle, you get smarter, you get stronger. Suddenly, failure isn't the end of the road anymore. It actually becomes the engine that drives your success. And once you stop being afraid to fail, something really profound starts to happen. You realize there is no set path. There's no map. The only path that really matters is the one you build for yourself. So stop waiting for instructions. Stop looking around for a map, because it doesn't exist. Seriously, no one is going to just show up and hand you your dream job or your big break. You You have to be the architect of your own life. You have to be the creator of your own opportunities. So when you put all this together, breaking the rules, creating opportunities out of thin air, and actually embracing failure, what does it all add up to? It's about developing one specific thing, an entrepreneurial mindset. And trust me, this is for everyone, not just people who start companies. Let's get really clear on what this means. Being an entrepreneur isn't just a job title on a business card. It's a way of thinking. It's a mindset. You know how most people see a problem and just complain about it? Well, an entrepreneur sees that exact same problem and immediately starts looking for a solution. Every gap, every single frustration, it's just an opportunity in disguise. And when you adopt this way of thinking, it's the ultimate antidote to having a victim mentality. All of a sudden, things stop happening to you and they start happening for you. Every problem just becomes a new project. Every obstacle becomes a chance to create value. You're in the driver's seat. You are in control. So let's wrap up with this really powerful idea. True success, the real lasting kind, it's not about following in someone else's footsteps. It's about carving your own path through the wilderness where there was no path before. It's all about building your own thing, in your own way. And so, it all comes back to you, doesn't it? The rules, they're really just suggestions. The limits, they're pretty much imaginary. The only thing that's missing is your decision to actually do something. So the only question left is this. Today, what will you build?